Hey, you clicked on the video. That means you're interested in Rainbow Six Siege, and you should be, because it's an amazing game and probably one of the most challenging yet rewarding shooters that exists in the market today. However, I want to ask you this simple question. When you think of your fondest memories of Rainbow Six Siege, do they include looking at somebody else's gameplay through your own death cam? At this point, does it seem more likely that Frodo and Gandalf from Lord of the Rings are in your living room cooking you a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich instead of you getting an ace in Rainbow Six? And is it at the point where people are actually excited to get you in their games because they know you're gonna be easy elo? My God, man, you need some help. I've been there, trust me, and I could help find the way out for you. Consider me your Charon on the River Styx, except this time we are going out of hell into the promised land, and it's not going to be that hard. These are 5 beginner mistakes that are easy to avoid and will improve your game instantly in Rainbow Six Siege, and it's a good time to learn these tips as well, because guess what? Rainbow Six Siege is about to be free. So whether you've played the game and purchased it already, or whether you want to try it out before Operation Ember Rise kicks off, this is the perfect time to do so. There's new operators coming in, there's a lot of hype around it, it's gonna be really fun, and you could check it out for free. I also want to say thank you to Ubisoft for sponsoring this video. I don't always do sponsored videos. You guys notice there's not too many on the channel, but when I find a game that I like, I've actually casted Rainbow Six Siege before in my own time, and I enjoy it a lot, and I think there's so much value here, especially with what we already do on the channel, that I wanted to take this opportunity to showcase the game to you all and help you get started in case it's something you're interested in. Also, once you're done getting good for the free weekend, you guys can basically purchase the game on a huge discount. All that stuff is in the link in the description below, so click on that, check out all the details, and join me playing some Rainbow Six Siege. It's a ton of fun. Now let's get into the tips. Now the first reason you're dying in Rainbow Six Siege is because you haven't played the situations. You that guy who's like, nah, I don't need directions, honey, I got it from here, yet proceeds to be lost for about an hour and a half. Now situations aren't like lame tutorials in other games. In Rainbow Six Siege, they're done with a lot of high tension, high pacing that allows you to feel like you're actually an operator going in on a secret mission. It's actually pretty insane, and I really enjoyed doing a few of them. One of them was on a plane where I had several bad guys and I tried to get a hostage and protect them. It was just a really awesome feeling, and I felt like I was creeping around and truly being an agent. But the reason you're really dying is because these are actually teaching you special skills that you need in multiplayer, whether it's leaning, or whether it's using your smoke as a defense, or whether it's trying to siege into a room. Every situation has a specific niche that it's practicing you for and allowing you to get better at. So when you get into the actual multiplayer games, you know what you're doing. If you find yourself dying a lot and don't really get the game, go back to all the situations, and I guarantee you will improve and be doing a lot better in your games. The second reason you're dying in Rainbow Six Siege is because you think all operators are made the same. Oh boy, Santa Claus exists too? Wait a gosh darn second, you mean Santa doesn't exist? Shut up, Jimmy, I'm teaching. All operators in Rainbow Six Siege are not made equal, and if you think so, you are probably losing for that reason. Each operator has a very unique set of skills. You know, kind of like Liam Neeson, except not Irish. The difference between the right operator and the wrong operator in Rainbow Six Siege is everything. And the cool and daunting part is that there are a ton of operators to choose from, and there are 2 more being launched in Ember Rise. So you're gonna have a lot of options, and you're going to have to sift through them. But basically, let me give you a few principles. Operators like Maverick and Ibana can get through walls that others can't. They're called hard breachers. Operators like Valkyrie give you extra camera access and allow you to play more around the intel aspect of Rainbow Six Siege. And operators like Buck have a dope shotgun and can, you know, blast through stuff, so he's pretty cool. Now, most beginners will get so excited to try every single operator that they will never learn any operator because they're always trying someone new. However, what I would suggest is trying 1 or 2, sticking with them, trying to learn what they can do, where their strengths, where their weaknesses are, and then if you feel like you need to switch, go ahead and switch. But part of the learning process is learning a little bit of the mastery of what an operator can bring to the table. The third reason you keep dying in Rainbow Six Siege is because you don't know the map. Yeah, that's me. This is the rule for me, because I know a lot of you also feel lost in some of these maps, and that's part of the reason why you are not doing well. Trust me, you think it might just be your aim, you think it might be all this stuff. A lot of the reasons people die in this game is because they don't know their surroundings or where people are coming from. This is one of the reasons why I have died in this game, because I just don't know where to expect people, and I don't know where I should be angled in terms of holding down corners or positions where people are usually able to approach. Now, this is something that I've learned and gotten better at over just a few hours of playing, and so I don't think this is really that complicated, but you do have to understand it's contributing heavily to why you might not be performing. Once you learn the maps, once you play a map again and again and again, and you start to really understand it and don't have to think too much about it, your whole world will change. You'll be hitting headshots, your Tinder will be blowing up with hot chicks trying to take you out on dates. You know what? That was a lie. I actually can't guarantee that you're gonna get a headshot. But that Tinder thing is for sure, trust me. The number 4 reason why you're dying in Rainbow Six Siege is you're treating offense like defense and defense like offense. Give me a gun and I'm running out to shoot him. You mean I really gotta sit here for 2 minutes? Come on, man. I think the best defense is an offense. You know what I'm saying? Whatever kind of attitude you all have taken up until this point, one of the reasons why you are dying the most is because you are not respecting the roles of defense and offense, and you're not respecting the pacing of each of those roles. Offensive players can be a little bit more aggressive in ways, and so can defensive players, but it all has to do with timing. Rainbow Six Siege is not to be rushed, and as a player who comes from traditional first-person shooters, I feel like I want to sometimes just go and shoot things, and that is super fun. But on offense, sometimes I get carried away, get too aggressive, and die early and leave my team crippled. And especially on defense, I find myself sometimes getting a little bit too cavalier in my approach, trying to get a little too aggressive and then dying, and again leaving my team without an extra defender. All of these things are really common for beginners because they don't understand how lethal this game is. You only have one life. Those headshots are 1 kills, and a lot of people will know where you are coming from because there are only certain routes a lot of the times to get into a certain bomb site. And as a defender, sometimes you need to take the advantage that you have. Trying to move out of a room where the bomb is when you know they've got to come to you is giving up the advantage that you already have innately in being a defender. They have to plant a bomb. They have to be still. They have to be susceptible to your damage. And so if you just hold angles, you hold corners, you are going to win that game more than likely. Or say you're on offense and you've got somebody defending in a room by himself. You take 2 different angles because you're a 2-man advantage over his 1, and that allows you to maybe capitalize. If he takes down one of you, the other can push in quickly, and while he's busy, take him down as well, and you still win the round. Sometimes you need to be fast, sometimes you need to be slow, but understanding what your role is and where the advantages are in that role is going to be huge in you becoming a better player in Rainbow Six Siege. I know it could be a little redundant to say this again, but this is one of the most important rules. If you find yourself dying a lot of times look at were you being too overly aggressive. On defense, I cannot tell you how many times I tried to step out onto a ledge and just got punished by an offensive team who was already having their back to the wall. You gotta appreciate the moments that you're given, take advantage of them. Don't try to be a superhero. This is a team game, and that leads me to the number 5 reason why you're probably dying in Rainbow Six Siege. The number 5 reason you are dying in Rainbow Six Siege is because you're playing this like solos, and there's only squads. Rainbow Six Siege is a game about teamwork. It's about patience, understanding the enemy's objectives and trying to counter them before they're able to counter you. It's about preparing. It's about setting up with a plan and executing that plan in an efficient manner. And the more efficient you can do it, the better the plan, the better your results will be. Thumbs up, let's do this. Leroy Jenkins. And then you do that. That's right, you run out solo. You can't do that in this game. So many of us try to be the superhero. It's really fun to take people down in Rainbow Six Siege. When you get that one-shot kill and you're feeling like, man, I am so lethal, I'm so good, my aim is on point, it could be easy to try to get in your head and think you could do it all, but you can't. You can never do it all in a game like this because there's just too many dynamics. There's too many different abilities, gadgets, tunnels, and choke points. You have to rely on your team, and the second you start thinking that way is the second you become a better player. Coming from so many games that prioritize solo and individual efforts, it's refreshing to play a game like Rainbow Six Siege that allows you to A, succeed with your teammates, but also fail with them as well. You're not often having to carry the entire game by yourself, but you're not often having to lose the entire game by yourself. It's a true team sport that allows you to feel the camaraderie value and that extra special feeling of completing something with a group bigger than yourself. And as an athlete, I appreciate that. In Rainbow Six Siege, sometimes you have to fail with your team in order to learn a bigger lesson than, hey, it was just me, I didn't hit my headshot. Maybe it was you didn't listen. Maybe it was you pushed too quickly. Maybe you were just not even thinking of the other players that were on your team and what they were trying to do, and you did your own thing. But sometimes your team dies and they give you information. Sometimes your team dies and they take a lot of health from one of the operators that is sieging into the room that you're holding, and that allows you to get a couple of shots in and clutch up the entire round for your squad. Those moments are the moments that make Rainbow Six Siege so fun, so satisfying, so rewarding, and keep you coming back for more. Rainbow Six Siege is a game, and in our modern age that teaches the value of playing in teams and playing with teamwork and utilizing that for a bigger objective. And it's honestly one of the most satisfying things you could do with your time in gaming. That's why I hope you guys check out this free weekend, and I also hope you just check out the game and let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you do, I'll be responding to a lot of those comments and also liking them and hearting them if I can. Now, whether you're hopping into Rainbow Six Siege for the first time or you're someone who's played for a while but still makes a lot of mistakes, this video should get you started and allow you to improve your game quite significantly. If you do all these things and avoid these reasons why most people die when they first begin the game, you will be lights ahead of your competition and be getting some aces in no time. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the tips and subscribe for more action here at Rainday Gaming. Thanks again to Ubisoft for sponsoring, and as always, my friends, never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.